Hello, my name is Philip Nolt, and in my presentation we're going to look at the effective use of formative assessments in order to help all students succeed in the classroom. First, formative assessments are tools to assess learning. They affect the teaching and learning process. They should be given while learning is occurring, and they are great opportunities to provide feedback. They are not, on the other hand, formally graded in most cases, one-time events, time fillers, useless data that you can just throw away, or gotcha or trick questions. Teachers, it's essential to use the data. We don't just assess and move on. It's important to adjust the learning and teaching, asking the following questions. Okay, who gets it? What misconceptions exist? What feedback would be helpful? What are the strengths and needs? And so on. Students play a role as well. Okay, looking at the quality of their work, identifying what learning goals they need to work on, identifying if they're on the right track, are they reaching their goals, and they should get the feeling that they're in control of their own learning. The 7 strategies of assessment for learning from Chapuis shows us that learning is not a linear process. They talk about some strategies that kind of help students succeed in the classroom, and that's what we're going to look at in the next section. First, it's essential to set clear learning targets. Okay, they should guide the instruction, the assignments, and the assessments. We should use student-friendly language. We should share the rubric with students first, and we should get them to articulate the learning goals throughout the lessons. It's important to use strong and weak models so that students can identify these qualities, okay, in their own work, and they should practice assessing samples using rubrics. It's essential to give students descriptive feedback while there is still time to act on this feedback. This informs students of their progress and how to proceed in the learning process. Focus on the intended learning goals, and don't just say, good job, okay, give more information. Self-assessment and goal setting is also important. Okay, we find that challenging goals lead to higher performance. Okay, students in this case take ownership of their learning because they're setting the goals, they're assessing themselves, okay, and so on. The evidence to drive the next steps, okay, we should identify the types of errors students are making. Are they misconceptions? Are they learning gaps? Is there flaws in their reasoning? Find the time to act on this information so that students are successful. Focus instruction and practice. Allow students to try, make mistakes, emphasize the effort more than the innate ability, and don't grade too soon. Okay, and finally, it's essential to track, reflect, and share learning. Okay, for example, you can use journals, learning logs, portfolios to track learning, reflecting on their growth, celebrate the successes, share the learning with others through conferences, debriefs, and so on. If effectively done, formative assessments provide clear learning goals, usable feedback, clear expectations. Mistakes are learning opportunities rather than punishments, and students should be developing the growth mindset and self-directing their own learning. Some examples of traditional formative assessments are listed here. Many of us as teachers have used these before: whiteboards, concept maps, pretty traditional journals, just quick checks to see what students understand. We also, in this class, looked at more technology-enhanced formative assessments that enhance the learning and don't simply replace an old way of doing something. One example is, a couple examples, Kahoot, Edpuzzle, and Google. We'll look at a little more in depth here. First, Kahoot is a fun, competitive, quiz-based game. My students really enjoy using it. Kids get to use their phones or laptops. Teachers receive immediate feedback on what students understand and what they don't. Edpuzzle is another great way to check the understanding during a video. Okay, it holds them accountable for watching these videos. Teachers can view the data on student responses, how long they spend watching the videos, and so on. Google's great for the use of the forms. You can create quizzes, surveys, and other quick checks of understanding. The answers are viewable in a spreadsheet. You can also use Google Classroom to embed different tools in the class. Final thoughts: effective assessment requires a shift in mindset, learning over grading, and it's also important to remember that every learning journey looks different. Kids learn different ways.